From the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II men's basketball coverage. In today's second matchup, the final matchup of our 2021 CSI Tournament of Heroes, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Golden Knights of the College of St. Rose. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman. I'll be joined by Nick Durst throughout today's broadcast. We'll be bringing you all the action from center court during today's game. And Nick, the Dolphins come into today's matchup off of a big loss last night. The team they faced, the University of New Haven, with another big win here today. What can the Dolphins do to turn around their performance from yesterday?
Well, the Dolphins here, it's crucial to get Austin Mick going. Of course, he's a prolific three-point shooter, and it's going to be really crucial for him to play off the ball a little bit here. He's a great catch-and-shoot shooter, challenging a little bit when he's being the point guard. He's being asked to do the point guard position a little bit here this year. Got to get him open, get him shooting, and he'll be finding the net if he's able to get those open shots.
Well, speaking of Mick, he had a good season back in 2019, 2020. Shot the ball very well, 41% from the field and 38% from beyond the arc. And you said it, Nick. Last night, Mick handled the ball quite a bit, didn't score any points, didn't get much of an opportunity to play off of the ball. Did dish out a couple of assists in the game, and Mick, unsurprisingly, the first man onto the court for the College of Staten Island here today. We know how hard of a worker he is. TJ Tibbs, back when he was head coach, would tell us that, but the Dolphins would love to see Mick get going in this game. However, last night, they did have several new faces who were able to get going. One of them, Bryce Waterman, he had 16 points, but didn't shoot it particularly well. 6 of 19 from the field, 4 of 15 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Waterman started heating up in the second half when the Dolphins made their run and got it within a few points. Of course, then the big timeout happened and things unfolded poorly from there. But Waterman had a great debut, as well as Messiah Mallory. He had a great debut as well. He had 11 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. So look for the two of them to continue, with the youth movement here for the Dolphins and help this Dolphins offense as they grow together.
We mentioned one returning face for the Dolphins, Austin Mick. Another returning Dolphin, Chris Velasquez, getting the nod at the starting point guard position.
CV3, as you called him last night.
CV3, well, I'm not sure. I didn't call him CV3. I said that shot was a
CV3.
Because he's not wearing the number 3. That number belongs to Brian Gomez, the third of 4 Dolphins returners, Brian Gomez and Justin Cardenas, 2 additional returning Dolphins. But back to Chris Velasquez, he got the nod at the starting point guard position from new interim head coach Nick Duran. And Velasquez played well last night. He shot 4 of 8 from the field, had 13 points, shot well from the outside, and hit a couple of very difficult shots as well.
Yeah, he looked good, and he had that great start to the second half. Dolphins need a lot more of that if they want to compete here today with a really strong team that offensively that has a lot of size.
The College of St. Rose last night, a big victory over Dieuville, 101-65. That was the first time we saw over 100 points scored in this tournament. We just saw it again in our previous game as the University of New Haven also eclipsed the 100-point mark. But what did the College of St. Rose do so well at the offensive end that allowed them to score 101 points?
Well, listen, Shane O'Dell, he was given the defense hell. This guy was incredible. He came in after the last season, they played averaging just about 17 points per game. And what does he do? He scores 17 points, so he's playing up to his average. Incredible performance by him. He's going to be the offense once again for the College of St. Rose. And he was joined, of course, by Eric Fleming, who had a great game. Fleming dropped 15 points as well.
And in transition, the College of St. Rose had themselves quite a night. A lot of emphatic dunks on the evening. The first of those is by Cartier Bowman. They stifled the Saints defensively, forced a lot of turnovers. How can the Dolphins go about protecting the basketball in tonight's game, as this College of St. Rose defense was all over Dieuville in last night's game?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins, they need to be patient here. We mentioned it in the pregame before the first game. The Dolphins are usually a run-and-gun offense, but I'm not sure if that's going to work here against the College of St. Rose. I think slow it down a little bit, especially if things get out of hand quickly here, and that's the best way to do it. Ball security is going to be key here if you don't want to be severely outscored. by the College of St. Rose.
We spoke to head coach Nick Duran after the game last night, and he was not overly disappointed with his team's performance despite the result on the scoreboard. The Dolphins lost big. They dropped last night's game by 31 points, but Duran did not become overly discouraged, and he really liked what he saw from his team to open up the second half. What did you see from the Dolphins opening up that second half that really allowed them to charge back into that game?
Yeah, the Dolphins there, really the end of the first half, but really in the second half, they showed no quit. They said, you know what, we're down by quite a bit here, but we got this. We can compete with these guys, showing their competitive nature, showing they belong on the same court, and they had a great run there, and we hope to see what we saw from the Dolphins there for that 8-minute stretch carry over here for the rest of the season.
Well, 2 points of emphasis at the offensive end for the College of St. Rose last night. Transition baskets and outside shooting. And we saw Manasseh Small really shoot the ball well from downtown. Came off the bench and scored 13 points for the College of St. Rose, but he was money from beyond the arc in last night's game. If you're the Dolphins, where do you focus defensively? Do you look on the inside, or do you look to slow down the three-point shooting?
Yeah, it's tough because Small came up really big last night. I think you need to try to focus on the inside because that's initially how the College of St. Rose got their big lead last night against Duville, but once they got that lead, then they said, well, we're going to go for the three. So I think what you got to do is you got to lock down the inside, lock down the paint, and then hope, like we mentioned, Austin Mick comes out guns a-blazing here and they can match threes throughout.
Now let's talk about that Dolphins home court advantage they had last night. CSI making their way back into the game here at the Tank last night. Their first game in front of fans in nearly a year and a half, and the Dolphins supporters did not disappoint. The Dolphins came storming back in the second half. This place erupted. How much of a role does that home court advantage potentially play into today's game? As we saw last night, the Dolphins fans making a ton of noise.
Yeah, it's huge because at that point, the Dolphins really got in their opponent's head. We do the fan base here. The baseball team was loud. They were proud to be Dolphins. The place was shaking, erupting. And remind you, Joe, this was a 5:30 start, so not exactly the easiest game to get to. Here, maybe we'll get some more fans. We got the Dolphins back-to-back. And we didn't even have Danny the Dolphin in the building last night, who really would have got things.
Where's Danny?
We got to get that milk cart out. Maybe Danny the Dolphin makes an appearance today, but home court advantage is huge, and hopefully a ruckus crowd is here this afternoon for the Dolphins.
So we have about 1 minute before the starting lineups are introduced out on the floor. Nick, keys to success for both teams in this game.
Well, if you look at the Dolphins, the key to success is going to be not turning the ball over, because when they turn the ball over, that's when they get down quite a bit, and that's not what you want to see, obviously. College of St. Rose, of course, keys to their game is going to be forcing turnovers. We saw them force a ton of turnovers last night, score a bunch of points in transition. If they can keep up that same game plan, they're going to be in for a great afternoon, and we apologize for our camera just shaking. Something got knocked into it.
Well, Sean was taking photos from behind the camera, and he disrupts our camera as we will conclude our pregame coverage of the Dolphins and the College of St. Rose. Sean just making things worse behind the scenes, so he will walk off the set. And when we come back, Nick and I will have the call of the College of Staten Island and the College of St. Rose. This is coverage of Day 2 of the CSI Tournament of Heroes 2021 here on the ECC Network.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And
And we are back from the tank. Starting lineups are being introduced out on the floor, and I will bring you those starting lineups as this place is booming. It is loud in here, Nick, but the starting lineups first ahead of today's game. First, for the visiting College of St. Rose, at the point it will be Trey Alexander. The rest of the Golden Knights starters: number 2, Adam Anderson; number 4, Eric Fleming; number 11, Shane O'Dell; and number 35, Josh McGettigan. For the College of Staten Island, their starting lineup in numerical order: 00, Chris Velasquez; number 5, Austin Mick; number 12, Bryce Waterman; number 23, Messiah Mallory; and number 50, Josh Vargas. The Dolphins are coached by interim head coach Nicholas Duran.
Well, Joe, you mentioned it. The crowd is into it. We're getting some great PA work right now, pumping up the crowd. Sean's here on the sideline taking photos. And just wait, if Danny the Dolphin makes an appearance, the roof is going to blow off this place.
This should be an exciting game. One of the matchups that everyone in the building has been waiting for. The College of Staten Island taking on the College of St. Rose. And I'm not sure I have ever heard the public address system cranked up that loud, as the opening tip goes to the Golden Knights, and we are underway from the tank. As we have an early travel called against Eric Fleming, and the game begins with a St. Rose turnover.
Well, if you're Coach Duran, that's what you like to see.
We had a word with Coach Duran ahead of the game, and he was a bit upset that we called him for a technical foul last night. Initially, that was my error, but the viewers at home thought Duran had picked up a technical. He did not.
I was all over it, Joe.
You were right all along, Nick, as the Dolphins also commit an early turnover. Here come the Golden Knights. This is Fleming. Fleming over to Alexander. McGettigan in the corner. Back up to Alexander. He works his way inside against Velasquez. Back to the basket. Finds Fleming. Pivot move, and he finishes off glass.
Fleming picking up right where he left off last night. Nice move there to lay it up and in.
Eric Fleming opens the scoring following his performance last night. He had 15 as that pass is knocked away and stolen by the Golden Knights. Alexander over to Anderson. This is O'Dell driving, and he was rejected. Jump ball is the call, and possession goes to the Dolphins.
Joe, if you're St. Rose here, how do you avoid a letdown game coming off a huge victory where you score 101 points?
You want to make sure you don't come out flat. If they stick to their game and do what they did last night, they put themselves in a great position to win by default. Don't come out flat. Avoid unforced turnovers and play the game that you played against D'Youville last night. They came out of the gate actually a bit weak in that one and recovered. You don't want to let down to open this game. As Austin Mick attacks the rim and finishes the finger roll. Count the basket. Foul called. Mick goes to the line for one more.
And we will take a look at the replay here as amazing play as Austin, I know I said Mick, with the sick move to the hoop, laying it up and in for the end one.
Mick wasting no time getting on the scoreboard today. He was held scoreless last night, and the Dolphins lead 3-2. This is Alexander over to Fleming. Fleming hands off to O'Dell. O'Dell against Waterman, met by Mick in the middle, and he is called for the blocking foul.
O'Dell continuing to give opposing defense as hell, picking up right where he left off last night.
Back-to-back and ones at each end of the floor. First Austin Mick, and now Shane O'Dell looking to put the Golden Knights up by a pair, and he does. This is Velasquez bringing the ball up for Staten Island. Hands off to Mick. Mick, long three-pointer is good.
Mick's loving it. What a three-pointer by Mick. We talked about it pregame. That was the key, and he's coming out hot.
Austin Mick with 5 quick points. There's a three-pointer for McGettigan. Make it 6 for Mick. As this is Messiah Mallory bringing it up off the McGettigan miss. This is Waterman, right wing. Mallory wants it in the post. Good entry pass from Waterman, and Mallory lost it. I think that will go down officially as a block, as the ball was knocked away from Mallory. Three-pointer by Odell is off. Here comes Waterman. Waterman crossover to his right. Bounce pass to Velasquez in the corner. Velasquez inside to Vargas, knocked away by Alexander.
Joe, the Dolphins coming out here with a lot of energy. Mick responsible for the early offensive surge.
Mick with all 6 points. He gets a screen from Vargas, heads the other way baseline. Velasquez in the corner, he drives baseline. Floater is no good, and Velasquez comes up limping. Alexander over to Fleming. McGettigan has Anderson in the corner. Good closeout by Velasquez, and the three-pointer is off. Mick up ahead to Velasquez, and that ankle looks just fine, but he blows the layup. Rebounded by Vargas and taken away by Fleming.
Velasquez there looking for a foul call, but does not get it.
Velasquez got ahead of the field. That ankle healed up real quick as Odell takes Vargas all the way to the rim and finishes off the post spin.
Nothing but business for Odell.
Golden Knights lead 7-6. This is Vargas. Hand off to Mick. Mick to Waterman. Back out to Mick. Pump fake. He drives to his left. Gives it up to Velasquez. 10 to shoot. Velasquez to Mallory. Mid-range jump shot is good. Nothing but net for Messiah Mallory.
Mallory with a nice job there to take advantage of the openness in the mid-range.
Fleming inside through traffic, and he draws the foul. Dolphins foul charge to Josh Vargas. That is his first. Team second. Eric Fleming has a chance to give the College of St. Rose the lead. They trail by a point. First free throw up and good. One more coming for Fleming from the charity stripe. And he makes it 2 for 2 from the line. Golden Knights back out in front by a point.
Fleming and Odell leading the way here early for the Golden Knights.
This is Velasquez. Crossover, has his pass knocked away, and McGettigan reels it in. Here come the Golden Knights. McGettigan draws a foul, and that was a late whistle.
I don't know what's going on with that late dunk there. It could have potentially teed the Golden Knights up there. I don't know what Eric Fleming there is thinking, dunking well after the whistle.
Well, with that foul call, we will head to a break. Media timeout on the floor. The College of Staten Island, the College of St. Rose doing battle in this 2021 CSI Tournament of Heroes finale.
You can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And we are back from the tank, and just over 4 minutes into the first half. We have a good one on our hands. The Golden Knights of the College of St. Rose lead the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island by a score of 9-8. And Nick, we have seen a lot of fast-paced action early in this game. How does this differ from what we saw last night early in the Dolphins matchup with the University of New Haven, where the Dolphins came out a bit sluggish and fell behind by double digits early?
Joe, it's amazing what some made shots will do for you. Changes the perception of the game, and that's what happened here. Austin Mick being the leader here that he is.
And the first free throw from Josh McGettigan is good. Dolphins substitution as Max Dillon Butler checks into the game. He replaces Chris Velasquez. Same 5 for the College of St. Rose as they extend their lead to 3. Mick will now assume the point guard duties with Velasquez on the bench. He works over a pair of screens, feeds it inside to Mallory. Thought about the 3, now looks to drive. Mallory on the kick out, right back to Mick. 10 to shoot. Mick, wide open three-pointer, right wing, in and out.
Oof.
Mick almost made it a perfect 3 of 3 start.
Unlucky bounce there off the rim for Mick.
That one looked like it was about to go down. Golden Knights have it on the right wing. This is Fleming, who picked up his dribble, fires a mid-range jump shot, and that one is good.
Fleming and Odell continue to be the impact players for the Golden Knights.
This is Mallory. Hand off to Waterman. Around the back, pass back to Mallory. This is Max Dillon Butler on the drive. Butler out to Mick. Wide open corner 3. No good off the front rim.
Shooters shoot, and Mick will continue to shoot anytime he's open, as he should.
Alexander, long 3. No good. Rebounded by Mick. And a bad pass by Mick is intercepted by Alexander. He has a wide open McGettigan for 3. And that's a big miss, but Odell comes up with the offensive board, and he will head to the line. If you're the Dolphins, that last Mick turnover is one you can't afford. They had a 2-on-1 break, and I wouldn't have been shocked to see Mick stop behind the three-point line and try one from long range in that 2-on-1 situation. So Odell knocks down the first of 2.
Odell and Fleming, 6 points apiece here in the early going here.
Michael Ashley into the game for Staten Island. He replaces Josh Vargas. Cartier Bowman checks in along with Kevin Lynch for the Golden Knights as Odell off of the offensive board had a wide open look from 3. His shot is off. Here comes Mick. He looks to feed Ashley inside, and Ashley was fouled on the entry pass.
St. Rose foul, number 11, Shane Odell, his first, team second.
Butler to inbound for Staten Island. Has a tough time getting it in, but he finds Ashley, and he finishes in traffic.
Nice move there by Ashley with Lynch all over him.
This is Alexander out to Odell. Odell works his way inside against Waterman and nearly put in a wild shot. Here comes Butler. Hands it off to Mick. Mick driving, baseline, and he stepped out of bounds.
I've got a second here. We'll take a look at that last shot by Ashley going up right over Lynch, who was draped all over him. Nice score for the Dolphins.
Tough finish by Ashley, but he has shown that he is adept around the basket. We saw that last night. On full display right there on that last play. This is Trey Alexander. Back out to Manasseh Small. Small lit it up from the field last night as Odell finishes with the left hand off a nice spin move.
Odell continues to stay hot here in the early going, up to 8 points.
Golden Knights by 6, now by 3 as Austin Mick connects from three-point range.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Mick's loving it. Let him keep shooting, Joe. Let him keep shooting.
A Mickey 3, perhaps?
Mickey 3. Love it, Joe. I love it.
As we have a whistle and a foul called against the Dolphins. That will go against Butler, his first and the team's 5th. .20 to shoot for the Golden Knights. This is Odell. Back to Alexander, inside to Lynch, and Golden Knights looking to break up this Dolphins zone defense. Small for 3, and once again, Manasseh Small from downtown picking up right where he left off last night.
Small, as usual, coming up big there for the Golden Knights.
He answers the Mick 3. Can Waterman answer? No, that shot is short. Here comes Alexander, up ahead to Small, and he wanted Small to shoot it again, but he travels instead.
Clearly a travel there. And Dolphins down 6 here. We'll have a substitution here for St. Rose.
Adam Anderson into the game for Shane Odell at 12:41 remaining in the first half. Mick with 9 of the 13 Dolphins points so far. Here comes Butler on the drive. Kick out to Mallory. Mallory hands off to Mick. Mick driving. And he finished the scoop layup, but we have a foul before the shot. Manassa Small picks up his first and the team's third. Dolphins will inbound along the baseline. This is Mallory, hands off to Mick. Another three-pointer from Mick, just off. And the rebound goes to Bowman. Alexander to Small. Back inside to Lynch. Lynch can't finish, and the rebound is knocked away and pulled in by Michael Ashley. Here comes Butler, looking to take it all the way, and we do have a foul call. Thought they might get Butler for the travel, but there was contact. The whistle blows. That is the 4th team foul for the Golden Knights. Foul was charged to Anderson, and with that, we will have a media timeout and head to break. When we come back, it is the College of St. Rose leading CSI 19-13 here on the ECC Network.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we're back from the campus of the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins taking the court in today's second game. This, the 2021 Tournament of Heroes finale between the College of Staten Island and the College of St. Rose. And Nick, the Dolphins doing a good job early in this game. Austin Mick with 9 points to lead the way. CSI trailing by 6. How can the Dolphins get some of their other players going at the offensive end?
Yeah, I think they need to try to do what they're with Mick, and that is get open looks. Continue with the ball movement. Get it around. Waterman is not afraid to shoot, and we'll see if everybody else could, use the old adage, find their voice here, and if they're open, shoot.
Mick has come out strong, and we saw him finish a tough layup. It did not count as the foul occurred before he took it inside and finished on that layup, but Ashley will try the hook, gets his own rebound. Mallory on the kick out. Open three-pointer. Rolls off the rim. Here comes Alexander. Inside to Lynch. Lynch working on Mallory, and that's an easy one for Kevin Lynch.
Lynch muscling up there.
Lynch 6'6", 250. Playing bully ball underneath as Mallory gives it up to Waterman, now Mick. Mick to Butler, back to Mick. Jab step, he drives to his left. Mick is rejected by Bowman. 7 to shoot for the Dolphins. Well, the shot clock was never reset as the Dolphins were blocked, and none of the CSI players seemed to know it. That one by the outstretched arm of Mallory. This is Small. Small over to Anderson and back up to Alexander. Alexander working against Mallory, gets right around him, but he's met by Michael Ashley, who swats that one away and then commits the foul on the follow by Bowman.
Dolphins need to do a better job there of getting the ball. Bowman sneaks in there in between 4 Dolphins defenders, as we could take a look quickly here, perhaps. The replay. Dolphins know this. They need to be able to get that ball. 4 Dolphins there, 1 Golden Knight.
Cartier Bowman at the line for 2, and the first is good. It's been a while since the Dolphins have registered a field goal. over 2 minutes now since the last CSI basket, but since that point, nice run for St. Rose. It's been a 7-0 stretch for them. Waterman will try a three. Quick trigger on that shot. Finds its way into the hands of Mick. His open three-pointer no good, and Waterman grabs the offensive board. Mick will try again, and that shot too long. Corner, three by Small, rebounded by Bowman, who is rejected by Messiah Mallory.
What a rejection by Mallory. He read that one easily.
Mallory swats that one towards the stands. And that will leave the College of St. Rose with 18 to shoot. 9:51 remaining in the first half. The Golden Knights lead by 10. This is Anderson driving against Mick. Has to kick it back out to Alexander. 10 to shoot. This is Fleming. Fleming hands off to Alexander. Into the corner for Anderson. And his three-pointer is good. Golden Knights now have CSI doubled up, 26-13.
Dolphins do a better job here controlling the rebounds or pass deflections, giving the Golden Knights too many second chance points here. Golden Knights are too good to be given those opportunities.
If CSI isn't careful, this game could easily begin to slip away from them. As right there, Golden Knights commit the foul on Michael Ashley along the baseline. Foul charge to Eric Fleming. His first, team's fifth. This is Mallory. Back up top to Mick. 15 to shoot for the Dolphins. Mick double teamed. Gets it inside to Mallory. And he had Butler in the corner, didn't see him. Here come the Golden Knights, and nearly converting through the contact was Anderson, but Adam Anderson will head to the line for a pair.
Anderson heading to the line here. He's giving quite a spark off the bench for his team.
Two Dolphins waiting to check in, Chris Velasquez and Luis Armas. As Anderson hits the first free throw.
Now the Dolphins, 0, Chris Velasquez, and number 10, Luis Armas.
Bryce Waterman and Max Dillon Butler head to the bench for CSI. As Anderson makes it 2 of 2. And here comes the full court press. Mick is trapped, but a nice job to get away. And then that ball is sent into the Golden Knights bench, and somehow Mick was able to escape that trap on the baseline. Got the ball to Mallory, but as CSI worked it up the floor, they throw it away.
Yeah, Joe, right now, one of our pregame things was the Dolphins need to contain the turnovers. So far, not doing a great job at that.
Here comes Anderson. And he puts one up inside, no good. That one not close. Here comes Mick. Mick to Mallory. Mallory hands it back off to Mick. He thought about the three. Kicks to Velasquez in the corner. Pull-up jump shot is good. Chris Velasquez has been very adept off the dribble, both last night and now today. His first shot, a mid-range pull-up. Here comes Small. Kick out to Bowman. Another open three from that left corner, and it's rebounded by Armas. Mallory working against Bowman. Drives inside, picks up his dribble. Short turnaround is good.
Nice job there by Messiah Mallory to stop on a dime, pivot, and score.
He has shown good control in the low post. And that was a nice turnaround jumper, nothing but net on that last attempt. Small with the offensive foul. He can't believe it as Luis Armas draws the charge. And we will have a media timeout inside of 8 minutes to go in the first half. When we come back, Dolphins on a bit of a mini run here. They've scored the last four. Golden Knights lead 28-17.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect. If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island, and right now our spectators are being advised to put on their masks in the stands of a public address. Not going to speak to whether or not they are adhering to that, but we are requiring it here at the College
Welcome
of Staten
to our
Island.
house. You gotta follow the rules here at Victory Boulevard. And right now, Dolphins down 11. This is a great time to remind everybody, Joe, to not go anywhere. We got 2 more games coming up after this.
A lot of exciting NCAA Division II basketball to come. Next up, we have women's basketball making their 2021 debut. The College of Staten Island taking on Wilmington University in our next game. Nick and I will be right back on the call. Pre-game approximately 15 minutes before tip-off as the action resumes here in what many consider to be our main event of this Tournament of Heroes, the final game of the tournament between the College of Staten Island and the College of St. Rose. Dolphins losing their game yesterday against New Haven, St. Rose winning big over DeUville. As that was Michael Ashley who comes up short on the hook shot. This is Trey Alexander, wide open 3, nothing but net.
Alexander left way too open there, easily able to bury that shot from 3-point range.
Dolphins just forgot about him, and that's an easy 3 points for Alexander. That snaps a 4-0 Dolphins run heading into that last timeout. This is Velasquez looking to drive against McGettigan. Turnaround jumper, off the front rim, no good. And a good defensive play there by Velasquez, as that is such a tough call against Velasquez. He had to run right around the official on the way to the rim, and that definitely hindered his progress there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that right now to see if it actually was a charge or not. And it looks like the defender did get his feet outside the circle, so good call.
That was definitely the right call, Nick, but I'm not sure that happens if the official doesn't inadvertently get in the way. And
sure.
Nothing the official could really do. He was in good position, but almost too good, as Shane Odell comes back into the game, immediately takes it inside, and finishes through a pair of Dolphins. This is Mick, right wing 3, too long. And an over-the-back foul is called against Michael Ashley. And after a hot start, Austin Mick has gone cold from the field. He's now 3 of 10 and 2 of 8 from downtown.
Yeah, Joe, I think he's feeling a lot of pressure right now to carry the offense. No one else really seems to be able to get anything cooking here. And he's taking every shot attempt he can get.
Last night it was Bryce Waterman taking 19 shots to lead the Dolphins in field goal attempts, and Waterman has only attempted 2 shots in this game. And Odell goes 1 of 2 from the line, but off the offensive board. Eric Fleming throws it down with 2 hands.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that real quickly here as we go into the timeout. Fleming able to get the rebound and slam it back in. It
will be a 30-second timeout called by the Dolphins, so we will stay right here. And the Dolphins now at a point in this game with 6:13 to go in the half. They can't afford to see this deficit grow. How can they cut into this deficit now, trailing by 19 points? What has worked for the Dolphins in this game, if anything?
Well, what has worked is when they're able to make their shots. They need to, if they're going to shoot these 3-pointers, they need to start making them. You know, I'm seeing a lot of hero ball here in the lane. Ball movement is key. That's how you start make those early shots. Move it around, find the open man, and then shoot. That's what's working for the Golden Knights here. I would suggest the Dolphins follow the same strategy here. Look for the open man. Doesn't matter who it is. If they're open, let them shoot.
Well, taking a look at the shot distribution for the Dolphins, Mick, as I mentioned, 3 of 10 from the field. Chris Velasquez, 1 of 4. Messiah Mallory, 2 of 4. Michael Ashley, 1 of 4. So several different Dolphins getting in and on the action at the offensive end, but CSI nearly turning it over there. No one's really been able to step up and put the ball in the basket with any consistency, as CSI succumbing to the full court press once again. They turn it over for the second time right in front of the Golden Knights bench.
What is that, Joe? The fourth turnover of the half for the Dolphins, at least?
That turnover will make it 9 for the College of Staten Island.
Boy, oh boy.
Golden Knights with 4 to this point, and Dolphins have to take care of the basketball. It's the first thing we spoke about during the pregame, as the Saints really struggled to take care of the ball last night against the Golden Knights, who have just extended their lead to 21 points.
St. Rose last night, 24 points off turnovers.
Right now, they have 11. With that last bucket, that total might have moved to 13.
CSI last night gave up 24 points off turnovers and only scored 4 off turnovers.
They're about halfway there right now, and there's still over 5 minutes to go in the first half, as Butler nearly lost it. Turnaround jumper, no good. And Odell has the rebound. Odell looking to go all the way to the rim, and he is rejected by Mallory. Here comes Butler. And Butler went down, and that didn't look good, as Fleming once again throws it down with 2 hands. And Max Dillon Butler remains on the floor underneath the basket, as he is grabbing that right knee. We'll try and keep you posted on what's going on at that end of the floor. Butler speaking to head athletic trainer Allison Ocasio. As we are going to have the officials joining us here at the commentary desk to try and get a look at that last play. Butler went down underneath the basket, and I'm not exactly sure what they're checking for, as there was no whistle for a foul. Play continued at the other end, and once again it was Eric Fleming who punctuated the fast break with a 2-handed slam. The officials huddled around our MacBook right now, taking a look at whatever it is they're checking on. I'm trying to listen in as well. They're trying to get a slowed down look at that last play, and Nick helping get that taken care of right now. So I have a front row seat here as we are sharing our replay feed with the officials. So what you see on your screen is what the officials are looking at right now. I'm trying to get a look as they have 4 bodies huddled around our monitor right now. Here's what the officials are checking out right now. And we'll see if Nick can give us some insight here. Nick, any idea what they were looking for on that play?
I think they were trying to see if there was some flagrant contact there to force the Dolphins onto the floor there, but we didn't really get too much insight, but it looked like it definitely was involving Dylan Butler. So they wanted to review to see if, I mean, you can't really call a foul. They didn't call a foul at post-snap. We're not really getting any word here, but good job by our team here to get that replay ready for the referees.
Well, Nick, I already let the cat out of the bag. You were the team getting that replay to the referees, so thank you for that. As it's always a complex situation when the officials come over and want that slowed down look.
Well, good job by Nick Bavona, who had it cut, ready to go.
Of course.
I stepped in, bringing in the little slow-mo action, and I guess that's why they call me the best in the biz.
A good team effort here at the commentary
The
desk.
Knicks teaming up.
Well, I said Nick took care of the replay. I was telling the truth. Here come the Golden Knights back the other way off another Dolphins turnover. And Velasquez is called for the blocking foul.
Let's see. Nick better get that replay ready in case they want another review. But we've had our first review, Joe, in a long time, 400, 500 days perhaps.
Well, I thought Velasquez was on the verge of getting hit with a technical foul right there. Very demonstrative reaction to that foul call as this one is beginning to spiral out of control for the Dolphins. But like you said, Nick, going back to that play with Butler down on the floor, I'm not sure how they can go back and review that for a potential foul call. There was already a basket scored at the other end, and I think watching that in real time, to me anyway, it was clear that he just lost his footing as once again, Mick is trapped on the baseline. The Dolphins escape that trap. Alley-oop attempt, and Vargas couldn't complete the dunk. Almost a highlight reel play for the Dolphins in what has been a very tough half for them. And Vargas once again can't finish, this time with the left hand on the layup. Waterman will try a three off of the offensive board. Vargas nearly grabbed another rebound, though he does draw the foul.
And Joe, why don't you share, during the injury, what you heard coming from the Dolphins bench as the coaching staff trying to wake up their players?
Well, I didn't hear much coming from that Dolphins bench as I was listening in to my left to hear what was going on over here.
Well, one of the coaches was screaming, "Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get in the game, get your head in the game." And you know what? The Dolphins are looking a little sluggish here right now.
CSI got off to a good start. At one point, this game, I believe, was 8-6 CSI or 8-7 CSI, and since then, quite the run for the College of St. Rose.
And Joe, what do you think of this strategy here? Nobody even staying in for a rebound. I don't quite get it. I mean, it's a moot point because he makes the basket there, but why not at least try to get an offensive rebound, if anything?
Well, that's something the Dolphins have done
for years.
For years, and it's worked for them in the past as they prioritize getting back on defense above a chance for a rebound at the other end of the floor.
Puts a lot of pressure on the shooter, that's for sure.
Now the Golden Knights continuing to force one CSI turnover after another, and the Dolphins now trail by 26 points. This is Waterman, finds Mick on the backdoor cut, and a nice reverse layup by Austin Mick.
Nice pass as well there.
This is Alexander. That is Keegan Zoller on the right wing. Golden Knights work it around, and it finds its way inside to Fleming. Kick out to Zoller in the corner for three. It's short. Rebound goes to Mick. Three-point attempt by Waterman is good. And what do we call that, Nick? Nothing but net?
Super wet.
Waterman for three, and McGettigan answers right back at the other end.
Once was a man named Josh McGettigan, and he's killing the Dolphins here on back-to-back possessions.
So McGettigan knocks down the three-pointer, the lead right back up to 34 points, and we will head into this break with the Dolphins down big. When we come back, CSI will look to close out the first half strong.
Car is damaged. Where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447.
And we're back from the tank. Dolphins trail by 24 points, and time is running out on this first half. The Dolphins have really struggled here in half number one. And as I said before, Nick, the Dolphins did have the lead earlier. Their last lead was 8-7. Since then, it has been a 41-16 run for the Golden Knights. What have they done so well in this first half?
They're capitalizing on the turnovers. Dolphins in double digit on the turnovers here. And the Golden Knights shooting lights out from three-point range for the most part.
They have made the most of their open looks in this game, and Golden Knights so far, 5 of 14 from downtown, as Messiah Mallory, coming out of the timeout, is able to convert on the layup.
Nice move there by Mallory to split the defenders.
Dolphins haven't had many quality looks underneath the basket, and they're hoping for more of that from Mallory. Open three-pointer, top of the arc by Alexander, no good. It's rebounded by Small. Armas nearly comes away with the steal. And Alexander with a nice feed inside to Lynch, who finds a wide-open Adam Anderson for three. What great ball movement by the College of St. Rose.
Well, Joe, that's the fundamentals. Pass, 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 and ultimately, someone's going to be open.
That's what you love to see as a coach, as Armas will try the three, and he hits from downtown. That is his first basket as a Dolphin.
Nice job there by Armas to step into that one.
This is Alexander looking to drive, finds Anderson again. Left wing three is off, and Vargas got fingertips on it. Mallory with the rebound. Mick pushes up ahead to Waterman. His three off the rim, no good. And Bowman able to pull it in off the floor. This is Alexander. Alexander inside to Bowman. Out to Small, right wing three. Off the heel, no good. And it will be a 20-second shot clock for the College of St. Rose. 1 minute to play in the first half. Alexander, mid-range jump shot over Mallory is good.
Right now, the Golden Knights, Joe, I just can't miss.
They have had themselves quite the half. They're shooting 47% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc. But when they've been open, they have connected. As Josh Vargas with a nice skyhook.
Knights right now on pace to break the tournament record for points in the game. See if they're able to get there. They'll settle here for a good shot here to close out the half.
We were on record watch at the end of our previous game. Might be on record watch down the stretch again. As Trey Alexander looks to drive, and a nice finish over Vargas. And that one is off the knee of Bryce Waterman. He turns it over. And with 2.7 on the clock, perhaps one last heave for the Golden Knights. Bowman throws it right to Waterman. Wide open three to end the half is no good. And the Dolphins will trail by 24 points heading into the halftime break. Our score at halftime, the Golden Knights 55, the College of Staten Island 31. We will wait a moment and see if we get a guest, as it looks like I just made eye contact with Nick Duran. He does not appear happy, but we will see if he heads over to the commentary desk. I'm not going to hold my breath, but Nick, heading into the break, the Dolphins really struggling to close out the half. What can they do to turn things around?
They need to start making shots, Joe. I mean, how many missed shots do they have? You got the stats there. I mean, they're definitely shooting below 40%.
Well below.
From the range, yeah. So, and on the flip side, you know, every time the Golden Knights are touching the ball from three-point range, it feels like they're making it. That's not the case, but you know, they're making all their free throws as well. They went to the line so many more times. And turnovers was a big issue in the first half here for the Dolphins.
Well, Nick being head coach, Nick Duran, made eye contact, and we had a mutual understanding that there would not be a halftime interview during this game. So if you're a fan of the Dolphins, you hope to see them come out in the third quarter a bit stronger. And we might have TJ Tibbs joining us during the halftime break. So Nick and I will step aside for just a moment, and perhaps
we're back. But right now we are in our house, and we're gonna step aside here for halftime. Unless anything changes, we'll come back with the interview. If not, Joe and I will rejoin you back on the call here to start the second half in about 13 minutes.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say,
All right, we interrupt this word from our sponsors as we have an exclusive interview here. Couldn't turn it down. Interim Athletic Director, Coach TJ Tibbs. Coach, how much is it killing you not to be coaching right now? When's the last time you remember just coming here and watching a men's basketball game?
I mean, it's been over 2 years, it seems like. I mean, it seems like 10 years with everything going on with the pandemic, but it's just good to be back. It's good to have the Tournament of Heroes. It's good to see the guys back out there. You know, we were St. Rose is a program that was able to play last year, and whether they play 10 games, 8 games, just being able to play and practice means a lot to these guys. So we weren't able to practice last year at all or do anything. So just for them to get back out, and we have a bunch of new guys, it's just great. And to see people in here, that's the best thing about everything.
But last night we saw the Dolphins making a nice run to open up the second half, and there was some great energy in this building. As a new interim director of athletics, how satisfying is it to see that kind of energy here in the building with the Dolphins fans bringing the noise?
We got to give a lot of credit to our students first, our student athletes. I mean, they were a big part of that last night. So a big part of this whole entire move is that we have a lot of kids living in the dorms now. So you see now they're just walking over. It's not just a lot of kids are just living at home. They're right here. the student athletes here are really close. So you got all the teams sitting together, and then you got the community members sitting together too. It was just a nice thing yesterday. Obviously, we want a different result, and the coaching staff's going to work really hard, and the kids are going to work really hard. But just I know that one run we made when there was a timeout, I mean, that was just definite. That's something that I can't forget and I won't forget. It's a big moment in the Tournament of Heroes, and we've had a lot of great moments over the years.
Yeah, the crowd was certainly raucous there, and the baseball team was really leading the charge there. But the people want to know, when are we going to see Danny the Dolphin?
Danny's on retainer, so, you know, we got to get a PO cleared for that to get Danny here now. But hopefully get Danny for a game soon enough. But the baseball team, I'll take them any day as team mascots.
Well, not many people got to hear your speech to the potential recruits ahead of Fin Night Madness, but I was down the hall in the office, one of the few people up there, and you have a way with the student athletes. How much of that comes from coaching, and what is your message to some prospective student athletes who might be considering us?
I think the biggest thing is that I've had a lot of great mentors. I work with a lot of great people here, and I think no matter who has the mic or whoever's talking about what we do is genuine. So anybody could do what I'm doing. I'm just sometimes tasked to be the person that's out in front of things, but I think we're in a really good place here. Everything is building. I think the one thing that I tell everybody is that the adults here work really, really hard to try to improve every day. And you guys know, like, we're always trying to look for a way to improve. We spend a lot of time here, a lot of time away from our families, just to give the student athletes the best experience possible. So the gameplay on the field, on the court, on whatever, in the pool, is improving because we're getting a higher caliber of athlete, but we never want to change the type of person we get. So we're getting great young men and young women here who are going to impact our community, whether that's the campus community or the overall Staten Island community. So it's just great to be here, great to watch people grow, and I just can't wait to see who chooses us to be a part of this and embrace the difficultness it is to be here and be a CSI Dolphin.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Building a great community here. And last question for me, what can everybody expect from Coach Duran and his game plan moving on here this season?
I think he says it all the time. They're going to play fast. They're going to play a good brand of basketball. You see it now, the guys aren't shy to shoot. I mean, he instills a lot of confidence in his players. And, I mean, I'm just so proud of Nick. I've known Nick a lot of my life. And, you know, we come from the same tree of playing for my father. And, you know, somebody who's had obviously a big impact on me, but also an impact on him. And we both came from Tony. I mean, Nick is doing a tremendous job. I mean, he earned this opportunity. The coaching staff is still intact. So, obviously, they want better results. We all do. But they're going to work extremely hard. The kids are going to get it together. And I can't be more proud sitting there watching the games.
And the rumor is that you will be joining us for Sportsnet for at least some of a broadcast this year. Are those rumors true?
Well, you know, I watch Chris Collinsworth on Sundays, and I'm like, I think I could do something like that. So, yeah, I would love to jump on, and hopefully I don't bomb the broadcast because I was watching the first game. You guys obviously do a great job. You guys know that. But hopefully I can add a little something to the broadcast and people don't turn us off.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. 5 minutes left here at halftime. Right after this, Joe and I will be back for the second half action.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island. A special thank you to our halftime guest, Interim Director of Athletics at the College of Staten Island, TJ Tibbs. Of course, TJ, a former CSI men's basketball player and head coach before being elevated to the position that he now occupies.
Yeah. And one of the best teams in CSI history with him here, of course. And, you know, you could speak more to that, but we're back here in the tank. But maybe we should call it the igloo today because it is freezing in here, Joe.
It is ice cold in the tank right now, but the Golden Knights red hot from the field in this game as they open the second half with an alley-oop dunk by Eric Fleming.
And, of course, we will get a replay of that as soon as we have a stoppage. But what
Picture
a job
perfect
there.
alley-oop. What a start to the half for the Golden Knights. And if you're the Dolphins, that is the last thing that you want to see coming out of the halftime locker room. There's a good feed inside to Vargas. Can he finish in traffic? No.
All right,
Possession will go to the Golden Knights.
Take a look at this replay here, and there's the alley and there's the oop.
Anderson to Fleming on the alley-oop connection. This is Alexander. Back to Odell in the corner. Couple of shot fakes. We'll look to spin and take the turnaround jumper. That is on target. Shane Odell has just been unstoppable, both last night and now today against CSI. He has 11.
Odell giving Thomas a run for his money when it comes to tournament MVP on the formies.
How about the shooting of Chris Velasquez the last couple of days? His shots have found nothing but net, as McGettigan also swishing at the other end from the right wing. Dolphins pick up the three-pointer and then immediately surrender one at the defensive end.
McGettigan's been doing that all day. He always has an answer.
And that's Messiah Mallory taking it inside and finishing with the left hand. There's a backdoor cut by McGettigan, and he throws it down off the feed from Trey Alexander.
Joe, we saw a lot of slam dunks last night, and now we get 2 here to start the second half.
Dolphins have come out flat defensively, but had been shooting the ball better ahead of that attempt by Waterman to open the second half. Odell left wide open for 3. His shot a bit too long. Vargas with the rebound. He has Mallory in transition, and knocking the ball away and committing the foul was Alexander.
And we'll take a look, Joe. You can walk us through here that last slam.
Unfortunately, I don't have a monitor, but that was a picture-perfect bounce pass off of the backdoor cut. And we have seen several good cuts away from the ball.
We are sitting next to a monitor right now, Joe, but to read on the screen, it says not optimum mode. So that's what we're working with here.
Blank black screen with a dialog box is certainly not the optimum mode that we're looking for.
Optimus Prime over here.
We have been trying to sort out our monitor issues since baseball back in the spring, and technology simply will not cooperate with us.
Well, we had a miraculous effort by us last night to even get the second camera running before the game.
Gave it all we had, and I think it was well worth it, as Odell is rejected by Mallory. Mallory in double figures after his last free throw make. He now has 10. There's a drop-off inside to Vargas, and he uses the body to create some space and finish underneath.
Vargas, a little bit of a coming out party here for him today.
Vargas with his second basket. As Fleming kicks out to Odell, he drives inside and finds Anderson, top of the arc 3, off target. Rebound by Fleming. Kicks out to Alexander. Bounce pass to Odell. He is trapped between 2 Dolphins, and that isn't enough.
Odell is unstoppable. I'm sure the Rams are hoping their Odell is the same.
And look at that effort by Odell. Diving into the backcourt, tipping that ball away from Mick. And the Dolphins just can't solve the turnover woes right now. That turnover for CSI is number 14 in the game. On the other side, for the Golden Knights, Odell now has 15, McGettigan has 13, Fleming has 14, and both Alexander and Anderson are 1 basket away from double digits. They have 9 and 8 points respectively. Here comes Anderson on the drive, bounce pass to Odell, and he flips it up and in.
Joe, that tournament record looks like it's going to be broken today.
And Mallory is called for traveling, but that record in severe jeopardy right now. And if the Golden Knights continue scoring at this rate, it will be in dire jeopardy sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and what the Golden Knights are doing so well is spreading the ball. Multiple players with double digits, multiple players over 8 points. That's the form of success. Pass, someone's open, and let them shoot.
What an up and under move by Shane Odell, and he has shown the full plethora of moves at the offensive end. Great versatility from the Golden Knights big man. That ball knocked away from Mallory. Velasquez tracks it down, and he hits another three-pointer.
Well, Joe, that's what you would call a CV3.
The game was a bit closer. I might have called it as such, and that one is going to be a block against Velasquez. And I think that will lead to our first media timeout of the second half with 15:18 on the clock. So coming out of the break, the Dolphins will trail 70-43. This is the finale of the 2021 CSI Tournament of Heroes.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the tank as I make it back to the commentary desk just in time ahead of the resumption of play. At the free throw line is Adam Anderson for 2 shots. He drew a foul on that last drive. Dolphins foul was charged to Chris Velasquez. For Velasquez, that was his 3rd personal and the team's first of the second half. Only 1 foul per side in half number 2 so far. And Manassa Small will check back into the game for the Golden Knights.
Small tends to always hit the open shots when he gets the ball. I'm sure once he possesses it here, he'll be looking to shoot.
Talk about a player reliable in the catch and shoot situations for this Golden Knights team as Velasquez draws the foul on the step back jumper.
St. Louis foul, number 1, Trey Alexander, his 3rd, team 2nd.
Foul charge to Trey Alexander, his 3rd and the team's 2nd. Velasquez looking to reach double digits in scoring. He has 8. And his first free throw attempt is good.
Now in the game for the Dolphins, number 34, Michael Ashley.
Second free throw by Velasquez rattles out. Golden Knights have it, leading by 28 points. This is McGettigan over to Lynch. Now Alexander looking to drive and attempted a dump-off pass to Lynch. It was knocked away by the Dolphins, and possession stays right here with 16 to shoot. Right there, Alexander hoping to be the beneficiary of that feed from Lynch on the bounce pass, but the Dolphins kick the ball, and that resets the shot clock to 20 seconds. Just inside of 15 minutes to play in the second half. Knights up big. And Kevin Lynch finishes the hook shot.
Lynch just a huge body down there, taking advantage of the situation all day long.
The Dolphins have a couple of players that can compete with the size of the College of St. Rose, but they haven't had them on the floor at the same time often. Right now, the 2 Dolphin bigs are Ashley and Mallory. Here comes Bowman on the drive after that last CSI miss, and the ball is stripped away. Mick now brings it across half court. He has Waterman. Waterman, tough baseline jumper off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Ashley.
Great rebound there by Ashley.
And Mick is rejected from behind on the mid-range pull-up. Good defensive play there. Sets up a wide-open three by Small, and that's one of the rare occasions where he's come up short from downtown.
Yeah, Joe, looking to our right here up in the balcony, looks like the Dolphins' opponents are in the building for the next game.
Wilmington University on the premises. As a reminder that, once again, this is not our last broadcast of the day and not the last time Dolphins will take the court here at the Tank. Women's basketball makes their 2021 season debut. Coming up next, as Michael Ashley had to be helped off of the floor, so a big loss there for the Dolphins if Ashley cannot continue. And Trey Alexander hits another three-pointer.
I was going to say, Joe, it doesn't look good for Ashley over there. Looks like it is his knee.
Josh Vargas came back in for Ashley as Mallory can't hit that turnaround jumper. Here comes Alexander, and he lost it as Velasquez dives on top of it. And a foul was called against Alexander. That's going to be his fourth. So Alexander comes out of the game. Shane Odell right back in. Also for the Dolphins, Max Dillon Butler comes in. This is Max Dillon Butler with the ball. Left wing, looks to drive. Kicks out to a wide open Mallory, who passes up on the three. Vargas has it. Finds Butler out of the double team, and Butler's three is no good.
Butler, we saw him go down earlier with an injury. His right knee heavily taped up as he's back in the game.
That knee is very heavily taped up. Looks like 3 layers of tape over that right knee. And there's a good bounce pass from Lynch, but they quickly double Odell, who finds a wide open Bowman. Bowman's jumper no good. Here comes Butler. Butler attacks the rim, and he can't finish. Here comes Shane Odell back the other way. Golden Knights looking to run. Good ball movement, and Small easily finishes the wide open layup.
Little tic-tac-toe there, X and O's. Nice passing there by St. Rose.
3 passes in a row without the ball touching the floor for the College of St. Rose. Can't draw it up much better than that on the fast break. And for Chris Velasquez, that mid-range pull-up off the mark. Here comes Manasseh Small inside of 12 minutes to go in the second half. His team up big, and he adds 2 more to that lead as Small continues his hot shooting. Small now has 7. Here comes Butler down the middle of the lane. Pivots and goes up with the layup. It is no good.
Butler being forced to his left hand the last 2 possessions. Unable to convert the layup attempts.
Well, it was a tough angle I had, but I do believe Butler is left-handed as I watched him attempt a 3 a couple of possessions ago. I think he is a left-handed player as Waterman comes up with the steal. Nice around the back pass to Vargas, but he can't finish the layup. The Dolphins have really missed some easy ones tonight.
Ashley at the trainer's table jumping around, so it appears like he is going to be okay. Do not want to see a disastrous injury there that could have potentially halted the rest of his season.
And we will have a timeout on the floor. Maybe we'll have an update on Michael Ashley when we return from this break. But the Dolphins now trailing by 37 inside of 11 minutes to play in the second half. This is Day 2 coverage of the 2021 CSI Tournament of Heroes.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we're back from the tank. Dolphins down big with just inside of 11 minutes to play in the second half. And looking out into the stands, I see a lot of jackets. I see a lot of people bundling up as it is ice cold here.
Live from the igloo here at the College of Staten
Live from the igloo as Zoller will try a three-pointer, and that one is no good.
We might have to go into the swimming facility in between the games here to warm up, Joe. It's always nice and toasty in there.
I'm not sure what's more uncomfortable, this ice-cold temperature in the gym or heading into the pool next door where it is often very hot and humid. And I did not see a timeout called, so maybe that last timeout did not serve as a media timeout. But either way, the clock once again stopped at 10:44, so we will take another quick break. When we come back, the conclusion of the second half from the College of Staten Island.
You can stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And we are back from the tank, and after a couple of quick breaks, the action will resume once again. And I'm not sure we got in more than about 50 seconds of gameplay before the clock was stopped yet again.
Joe, the Lady Dolphins to your right now, getting ready for their tip-off coming up in a little over an hour here.
That game scheduled for a 5:30 tip, and we appear on target for that right now as we have about 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this game. The Lady Dolphins hoping for a much better result than this one, as that's Fleming wide open for three, and he knocks it down from the top of the arc.
Fleming, great game last night, a good game today, and big part of his team looking like they're going to be going 2-0 here in this tournament tip-off.
Chris Velasquez has that shot blocked by Manasseh Small. Here comes Zoller back the other way. Zoller over to Small and back to Bowman. Now Odell off the pump fake finds Bowman, and he was looking to dunk that ball, but Josh Vargas and Messiah Mallory had other ideas.
Yeah, you better get the sweeper mopper out there. A lot of contact.
Well, you like to see that. You don't want the Dolphins, especially if you're a fan of CSI or a coach of the team, you don't want to see them conceding dunks on their home floor. This is Bowman's first free throw attempt. That is good. The lead has now ballooned to 41. With 10 minutes to go, Nick, I think now it is very safe to say that we are looking at what will likely be a new record for points scored in this Tournament of Heroes. 104, the previous record. We've seen 101 scored twice in our first 3 games of the weekend. And
Joe, you've done a lot more games than me. Do you ever remember calling 3 games in a row going over 100 points by one single team?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure I've ever called 2 100-point games in a single season by any team. As stepping on the baseline were the Golden Knights, so possession will stay with CSI. John Smith into the game for the first time for St. Rose. Bryce Waterman back into the game for CSI.
We'll see if Coach Duran decides to empty his bench, give some of the youngsters a chance to get some game action.
And Vargas created space inside, but that shot not even close from underneath. Here comes Small. Out to Zoller. Back to Small. Steps into the three, and he hits it right in the face of Chris Velasquez.
Small has just been incredible in this game. Pretty much any time he gets that three-point shot, he's going to take it and make it.
And Luis Armas makes it 2 for 2 from long range.
Armas with his second three here. Good to see him finding his shot.
Armas now 2 of 2, both attempts from downtown. He has 6. With that last make, Small has 10. As Shane Odell draws a foul on his way to the basket. Right now, for the Golden Knights, they have 6 players in double figures now that Small joins that group. Also with double-digit scoring, McGettigan, Odell, Fleming, Anderson, Alexander. For CSI, Velasquez has 9, Mick has 11, and Mallory has 10.
We're about to see a bunch of subs here for the Golden Knights after this first free throw attempt.
Technical foul was also assessed to Bryce Waterman, who picked up the personal foul as well. That will award the Golden Knights 4 free throws, and Shane Odell knocks down a pair that resulted from the technical. 2 more for Odell, upcoming from the line.
Out of the game for St. Rose, number 5, Hagen Foley, and number 44, Kevin Lynch.
Hagen Foley and Kevin Lynch into the game for the College of St. Rose. The 5 Golden Knights on the floor now. Odell, who was at the line, and then Smith, Foley, Lynch, and Zoller. 1 more free throw for Odell. He's hit 2 of his first 3.
Very rare to shoot 4 free throws in a row.
See it a lot more in the college game, but still not a common occurrence, as I would presume Shane Odell's day is likely done. He heads to the bench.
St. Rose here goes with 5 reserves on the court.
This is Armas into the corner for Butler. Butler drives, kick out to Velasquez. Wide open 3, right wing, too long. Butler with the rebound, out to Waterman. Top of the arc, 3-pointer off the mark. Armas with another offensive board, and he quickly turns it over. Trapped in between a pair of Dolphins was Smith, and Bowman will bring it back out. Golden Knights to reset here. This is Zoller against Armas. He drives and is fouled. Shane Odell, as he just headed to the bench following his last free throw attempt, finishes with 22 points. Assuming that's the last time we see him, so a 20-point effort from Odell, who also had 4 rebounds in the game. And once again, we are going to have a media timeout following that Dolphins foul. When we come back, Golden Knights at the line, well on their way to a Tournament of Heroes record for points scored in a game. They have 92 on their way to 105 and a new record. Stay tuned to find out if they can set that new all-time high mark.
Your car is damaged. Where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447.
And we are back here in the tank, or as we've been referring it to as the igloo, because it's very cold here. And Joe Foreman had to run across the floor, but now he's back. And as Joe mentioned before we went to yet another break, the tournament record is 104, and the Golden Knights could be within 10 here of that record after these 2 free throws.
Plenty of time left in this one for the College of St. Rose to set that all-time high in team points in a single game, and with that, they move to within 12 points of the all-time record. They now lead by 47. This is Butler bringing it up for CSI. And Nick, not to be lost in this, is that last time the Dolphins played a full season back in 2019-2020, they opened the season with 2 losses far bigger than this one. They had a loss that I think was bordering on 70 points.
Really? Wow.
At Nova Southeastern. I attended that game down in Florida with the team, got to sit behind the bench, and the Dolphins came back home, bounced back in a big way, picked up their first ever win against a Division II opponent in program history against NYIT that season, and that program eventually folded following the conclusion of the season, but that game against New York Tech here at the Tank was a big win for the College of Staten Island, the first of many in the 2019-2020 season. And we can't look at these first 2 games as indicative of what to expect from this Dolphins team moving forward.
Well, Joe, I know you've been studying up on the ECC and basketball and whatnot. So what are some teams for the Dolphins and their fans to keep an eye out as they go through the schedule here for the first time, really? And they're going to play a full ECC schedule. So there's going to be some new rivals. We're used to seeing the same typical rivals with the CUNYAC Conference, but times have changed, and it's going to be a lot of new opponents.
Well, I think the first team you need to look at for the College of Staten Island is the first opponent on their schedule, Damon College, and I think that's largely because they are the first ECC opponent the Dolphins will face this year. As CSI right now can't afford to look past anybody, but Damon always a formidable opponent, and the Dolphins will host them at the Tank on November 23rd. Also, if you take a look at the preseason poll with the rankings that are the projected rankings based on votes by coaches throughout the East Coast Conference, that's a great place to start as well for taking a look at what teams to expect to give the Dolphins the toughest games this year. And there's just so much information for us to go through in so little time at the end of this game. But with 6 minutes on the clock right now, the Golden Knights are within 7 points of an all-time tournament scoring record. And I want to pull up that preseason poll right now and get a look at the projected East Coast Conference basketball standings. Unfortunately, our internet doesn't want to cooperate with me at this time, so that may take a few moments.
Maybe the internet's being frozen out by the pumping of the AC in here.
That is certainly a possibility, as we found the rankings right here. And Damon College, not only the first team coming into the Tank this year, but they ranked second in the ECC preseason poll for men's basketball. So Dolphins will face a tough test early on.
Well, Joe, it's a foregone conclusion here that we're going to see a tournament record. As far as points are scored, good to see Daddio get back in the game here. He played it just under a minute last night, the freshman from St. Joseph by the Sig.
Armas looking to make it 3 of 3 from downtown, was just short on that last attempt. This is Hagen Foley getting his first action of the game is Zach Hilton. He got into last night's game late and was able to register a point from the free throw line to get into the scoring column.
Hagen Foley and Hilton, big fan favorites of their teammates who were really cheering them on last night.
Whenever a player comes off of the bench late in a game, especially if it's a player who typically doesn't get many minutes, you see the teammates of those players usually rooting for them to get a basket. And Hilton and Foley were both able to score last night as John Smith with a nice shot fake to open up the baseline jumper.
And Joe, the next basket made by the Golden Knights will either tie or break the Tournament of Heroes record, which has stood for a number of years now.
That record was set in, I believe it was 2003, and then was matched in 2011. It is a foregone conclusion that it will be broken here in 2021. The question is, by how much? Brian Gomez will check in for the College of Staten Island. You mentioned Patrick Daddio getting his first action after the previous stoppage.
Brian Gomez.
This is Butler driving, floats it up with the right hand, and that shot no good. Hilton has it, way beyond the arc. Now Smith, back over to Hilton. Three-pointer is an air ball.
Well, he was definitely going for the record books there. Wanted to etch his name in history. Attempts to three, but nothing but air there.
Wouldn't that have been something if Hilton comes off the bench and hits the record-breaking three-pointer? Highly doubt that the Golden Knights are aware that they are on the verge of history, but we try our best to upkeep the record books for this event. Each and every year it's held as Luis Armas with a nice finish off glass.
Armas has been very impressive today. 3 threes and that nice layup there.
Armas now has 11 points. This is Smith working against Butler, weaving his way through the Dolphins' defense right down the middle of the lane, and he kicks out to Zoller. Three-pointer is good. And that will do it. 105, a new CSI Tournament of Heroes scoring record by a team in a single game. And there's a nice feed inside to Patrick Daddio.
Daddio's first points as a Dolphin.
So I think every Dolphin who has seen the floor this weekend has scored, with the exception of Brian Gomez, who just got into this game. So we'll see if the Dolphins can get Gomez his first points of the season. And you have to think that with the College of St. Rose breaking the Tournament of Heroes single-game scoring record, they have also broken the all-time scoring record for this tournament. They have scored 206 points already through 2 games. They undoubtedly have set that record, as they have 2 top 5 all-time single-game scoring performances now.
Joe, are you surprised to see Austin Mick checking back into this game?
Very, if that is happening right now.
And it looks like someone else from the Dolphins will be checking in after this break as well.
We'll see if Justin Cardenas gets any minutes
in this game. I believe it's him. I think he's getting in.
He is. Whereas number 4 does Cardenas. And after this break, Justin will get his first action of the game. Dolphins down big with just under 3 minutes to play in the second half of this Tournament of Heroes finale.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins trail 105-54 with just under 3 minutes to play in the second half. And you said it, Nick. Austin Mick getting back into the game for the College of Staten Island. Justin Cardenas getting his first action of the season for CSI. And Zach Hilton heads to the line for the Golden Knights. And he connects on his first of 2 free throws. And the second free throw from Hilton is good. Each point creates a new all-time high in points for a team in any of our Tournament of Heroes games over the 19 installments of this tournament. That was Gomez handing off to Armas. Armas out to Cardenas, right back to Armas. He drives to his left and has the ball knocked away, but he was fouled. And that is only the 6th team foul for the Golden Knights, so no free throws. Make that 5 team fouls. Armas off the handoff from Daddio, now Cardenas. This is Gomez from just inside the arc, and that shot is short. Here comes Zoller as we approach 2 minutes remaining. That's Foley over to Hilton, back to Foley. And they are going to run some time off the clock.
So, Joe, do you want to give us the full preseason poll standings for the ECC if you have them?
I do, as the Dolphins can't come away with that rebound, so we have at least another 20 seconds to do that. At the top of the men's basketball preseason poll is St. Thomas Aquinas, followed by Damon College, as I mentioned before, Bridgeport, number 3, Malloy, number 4, Foley with a three-pointer in the middle of our rankings, District of Columbia, number 5, Roberts Wesleyan, number 6, Mercy 7th, Queens College 8th, DeUville 9th, and Staten Island 10th. We got to look at both Staten Island, of course, and DeUville this weekend, as that one is out of bounds. That one just caught a bit of that black paint along the sideline. And, of course, the Dolphins do meet the Saints later in the season. We will have that game for you right here on CSI Sportsnet. The road meeting between those two sides will also be live streamed on the ECC network as well.
Joe, looks like our next game will indeed tip off at its scheduled time of 5:30.
Always love to see things moving along right on schedule, as hopefully our food delivery is also on time. We expect some pizza in between games, as that one is laid up and in by Zach Hilton. Through the contact. Nice finish by Hilton. He now has 4 points. This is Gomez. Gomez picks up his dribble and hands off to Daddio, gets it right back, looks to drive to his left, and pulls it back out to the three-point line.
He should just shoot it.
6 to shoot. Armas, open three-pointer, no good. And that one is out of bounds. It will be Golden Knights basketball, and I would guess that they are going to take a shot clock violation right here.
We'll see, Joe. If that's the case, the tournament record will be set at 112 points. Will it ever be surpassed? Perhaps not. It's a very high score.
An impressive offensive showing for the College of St. Rose. They win yesterday 101-65. They win today 112-54. Yesterday, that win a 36-point victory, and then today they follow it up with a 58-point victory. And for the Dolphins, a very disappointing start to the season. But like I said, the Dolphins suffered a pair of huge defeats to open up the 2019-2020 season. So as discouraging as this is certainly no reason to write off the Dolphins heading into the remainder of their schedule.
Yeah, Joe, looking to see how they bounce back. And, of course, you can catch all the action on the ECC network, and we're looking forward to the next time we get to call one of their games as well.
Well, we get to call some women's basketball in just a few minutes. The CSI women have taken the court here at the Tank, and we anticipate a 5:30 p.m. tip-off. So Nick and I will rejoin you ahead of our 5:30 tip. CSI Dolphins basketball continues on the ECC network.